50 years today. 50 years today, we landed on the moon. Apollo 11 landed on the moon. And Neil Armstrong put his foot on the very surface of the lunar, on the lunar surface, and said those famous words. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. And 50 years now, there's now a considerable change. And I'm thinking, and it's an important change because, due to the effect that we had retired the space shuttle back in 2011, we have been forced to rely on Russia to send our own astronauts into space. But now, after 8 years, that monopoly against Soyuz may actually be changed, because right now, thanks to President Donald Trump, there's been a lot of changes when it comes to the United States space policy. For one, there's been a new change of plans when it comes to returning to the moon, and also who may actually step foot on it again. Because originally, Jim Bernstein, the current head administrator for NASA, he originally had this plan of going to the moon before 2028, and even set up the Gateway space station just around the lunar orbit. But it's been what is a good word for it's going ahead of schedule. That's not the best word I can come up with, but hear me out. Donald Trump and Vice President Mike Pence officially gave the challenge of NASA to return to the moon by 2024. That's 5 years from now. And after NASA decided to finally take the challenge, to finally go up into space, they have been making major improvements despite many delays, as well as lack of funding and that sort of thing. In fact, when I was in the Museum of Flight yesterday, I actually went to one of these podiums where it actually had the Artemis model about it, and I talked to the people who apparently were working with NASA, and that they told me that they were fourth complete on the main core part of the SLS, the Space Launch System. They already everything else. After everything, all they need to do is to put it together and commit to 6 months of testing just to make sure that it's flyable and that it won't explode. And then after that, hopefully in June 2020, we will send Artemis 1 around the moon. Now, keep in mind that the Artemis 1 will not be manned. It'll just be a test for what will eventually occur as a result of us sending people to the moon. But again, this is just this is currently the major plan, and it could change and with the scheduling turning to 2021 instead. That's what I've been hearing a lot of outlets from. I don't know, but it seems like NASA has been trying to go forward with this plan of making it to their deadline. So that's one of the major changes that have been occurring with space policy in the United States. And it's also been I shouldn't just give this thanks to Donald Trump. I should give thanks to both Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk, two people who have run major corporations such as Blue Origins and SpaceX. People who have managed to help the United States gain a new dominance when it comes to sending people into space. Now, I know that at this very point, we have not sent a single person into space. That is going to change probably within this year. But nonetheless, there has been remarkable progress thanks to these men. Jeff Bezos has been testing out his Blue Moon lunar lander, which may or may not actually land on the moon. I don't know right now because it's still on the process of selecting the contracts and designer concepts and whatnot. But for Elon Musk, he's managed to reduce the cost of sending rockets into space and been more active in sending equipment and payloads into Earth orbit. And like I said before, by the end of 2019, the idea is to finally have Americans in the International Space Station from American soil. If that's not progress, I don't know what is. Finally, we have to go into the military point of view. The Space Force. Now, I remember back in 2017 how a lot of people, especially news analysts, think that this was incredibly stupid. How Trump was trying to use this as like a sort of pet project. How it won't be really used for anything. And at first, I kind of doubted it. While I was interested in the concept, I kind of doubted if it would be applied in reality. But now it seems like it possibly will. And the reason for this is honestly thanks to China, because they already have one of their own armed forces, which is about cyber and space warfare. And now it's clear that this is while this also is a means of gaining dominance for the United States in space, this is a means for countering China as well, since their own space technology has been rapidly progressing as of date. Hell, they sent a rover to the far side of the moon for the very first time. So considering that, the Space Force has been gaining much more momentum. And both the Senate and House committees, although they have separate plans, have been actually in support of this idea, and have actually included it in the annual National Defense Authorization Act. And if the Authorization Act is passed, that will mean that we will have the 6th armed force in the United States, all committed to being part to military and space warfare. So that is going to be a major progress. And just, again, think of how much has happened ever since 2011. We used to be, while we are to a certain extent, we used to be reliant on Russia to send us into space. Now we're trying to get a hold of that again. And believe me, it feels freaking amazing. Because considering that we are a country that was one of the countries that launched people into space, I think it's time to get that pride back. Plus, it would contribute mankind in many different ways. Such as how about Elon Musk wanting to build committed to building a colony on Mars. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen in our lifetime, but nonetheless, it would be amazing, and that's the goal we're trying to accomplish, or one of many goals, to be honest with you. And thanks to what's been going on with this breathing room that NASA is gaining, and of course, help from commercial industries in promoting space, in promoting space for the American economy. Our space for the American economy. We are now seeing major benefits and rewards as a result. And I can tell you that whether or not Donald Trump wins a second term or not, his effect on space policy will be lasting. My name is Domin on The Art of Truth. Please post your comments down below, like this video, subscribe, and share with your friends. Also, if you have any criticisms, be sure to either post them down in the comments or message me up above. Thank you.
almost heaven. West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains.